Rattlesnake Dick Barter, Life and Times of a Gold Rush Outlaw. In the chaos of the California gold rush, when fortunes were made overnight and lost just as quickly, law and order struggled to keep pace. It was in this violent, uncertain world that a young man named Richard H. Barter, later known as Rattlesnake Dick, rose from miner to outlaw and into Western legend. Richard Barter was born around 1833 in Quebec, Canada. As a teenager, he traveled west with his family during the early years of the gold rush, settling in the foothills of California. Like thousands of others, Barter tried his luck mining gold along the American River, particularly in an area known as Rattlesnake Bar. From this place, and possibly his reputation for toughness, he earned the nickname that would follow him for the rest of his life. At first, Barter lived as a miner and laborer, but the gold fields were ruthless. Competition was fierce, claims were stolen, and violence was common. Barter soon found himself on the wrong side of the law. He was accused of cattle theft, a serious crime in Gold Rush, California. According to official San Quentin inmate registers held in the California State Archives, Richard Barter was received at San Quentin on December 20, 1854, and discharged on December 18, 1855, serving roughly 1 year for a grand larceny conviction, stealing a mule. Convicted and sent to San Quentin prison, Barter claimed his innocence. Some later historians believe the evidence against him was weak, but the conviction permanently marked him as a criminal. He met other outlaws there. The San Quentin archives and later historical articles note that he was incarcerated at the same time as fellow outlaw Tom Bell, Thomas Doc Hodges. After release, Barter later joined Bell's gang and went on to stagecoach robberies. Branded an outlaw whether guilty or not, he turned fully to crime. By the mid-1850s, Rattlesnake Dick had become one of the most feared men in the Sierra foothills. He led or joined small gangs that robbed miners, mule trains, and travelers moving gold between camps. His crimes were not subtle. Armed robberies carried out in daylight, often with violence or threats of violence. One of the most infamous crimes attributed to Barter was the robbery of a Wells Fargo mule train transporting gold dust and coins. Accounts vary, but the stolen gold was rumored to be worth tens of thousands of dollars, an enormous sum at the time. Legend claims much of the gold was hidden somewhere in the foothills and never recovered, a story that still fuels treasure hunters today, though no proof has ever surfaced. As his reputation grew, so did the determination to stop him. Barter became a wanted man throughout Placer County. Lawmen tracked him relentlessly, while miners and settlers feared his name. On July 11, 1859, Barter's life came to a violent end, near Auburn, California. When confronted by a posse of lawmen, a gunfight broke out. During the exchange, Deputy Tax Collector George W. Martin was killed. Barter was wounded but managed to escape into the hills. He was found dead the following day. Some reports suggest he died from his wounds. Others claim he took his own life rather than be captured. The truth remains uncertain. 10 years after Barter's death, Daily Alta California carried an article about an indictment in Placer County relating to charges that David Beaver, aka Alex Wright, may have shot Barter rather than Barter shooting himself. Rattlesnake Dick Barter was buried in Old Auburn Cemetery, his grave marked simply with his nickname and the years 1833 to 1859. According to local history articles and cemetery guides, the headstone currently marking Barter's grave was donated in 1969 by a local civic historical group. Different accounts credit either the Auburn Whiskerinos or the Native Sons of the Golden West, both of which are organizations known for historic preservation in the region. Today, Barter stands as a symbol of the darker side of the gold rush, a time when opportunity and lawlessness walked hand in hand. Whether victim of circumstance or hardened criminal, Rattlesnake Dick's short, Violent life reflects the brutal reality of a frontier where survival often mattered more than justice. Somewhere, if the legend is true, Rattlesnake Dick Barter's gold may still lie hidden, waiting for someone brave or foolish enough to look for it. Another outlaw later adopted Rattlesnake Dick's name in Nevada, but the original was Richard H. Barter.
Thanks for listening to Stories and Music 101. If you enjoyed the story, like, subscribe, and come back for the next adventure.